So yes, this morning we got our previews for Super Mario Party Jamboree, letting us know what the game is about, how good is the game actually compared to the last couple in recent years, and is it going to be as good as the classics? Well, I have all the information here for you, from the boards, the minigames, and even all the side modes, including some little extra things that we haven't even heard about yet, and one thing that specifically excites me the most, like literally through the roof, and we'll get into that in a second. But first off, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Just the other day, we reached 242 new subs, and you guys have been killing it every day for the last couple of weeks. Once again, let's see if we can beat that number of subs. If you really enjoy Mario Party, leave a like and subscribe to see if we can reach this goal again. But thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive into the new previews for Mario Party Jamboree. So if this is your first time here on one of these preview coverages I do, pretty much what we do is take all the previews from all the different outlets that put them out and put them into one big package, so that way you guys can know what the general verdict is. I pull from everybody's reviews and just kind of talk about the general consensus when it comes to the different modes and what people are thinking. So today, lots of these gameplay clips and reviews, or previews in this case, come from IGN, Nintendo Life, and GameSpot, with tons of gameplay from Nin10doland. So the only board that anybody was really able to play and show off was the Wiggler board, which is the very first one it seems like you'll be able to play in this game. From what I've heard, it seems to be phenomenal. This seems to be Mario Party back like it has been in the past, like the Nintendo 64 titles, like the GameCube titles. This is classic Mario Party fun. The objective is simple: collect the most stars to win. Each star is back to 20 coins, so not that 10 coin stuff that it was prior, and nothing higher as well. I think 20 coins is a perfect number. There's also shops around the map to give you different items like warp pipes, and there's different items returning from past games, and even new ones that are board specific, like the Wiggler bell that actually causes him to move around and change locations, so that way there's different spots that lead to different paths, which is pretty cool. One thing I was noticing is that the presentation definitely seemed better, and this was even touched on in lots of the previews, suggesting that it is very much upgraded from past Mario Parties, meaning there's dynamic camera movements that follow the character as they're running down the path. There's unique animations for as they're speeding up or slowing down when they're running or jumping or celebrating getting a star. There's a lot of detail and lots of love poured into this game that you can definitely see. It seems to run with no hiccups and no problems, and there's no corny, catchy things that ruin the game board experience. It's pretty much as basic as it can get. The only extra addition is something that has been returned, is the ally mode, and it's a little different from the last time it's actually made its debut in Mario Party. This time it seems like an ally will appear on the board, and according to Nintendo Life, Donkey Kong appeared at the very last turn towards the end of the game, and somebody was able to get him where he can participate in things like mini games and even, participate in the board itself. He just pretty much is your ally until the end of the game. Honestly, from what I've heard with just this one board being played, it sounds perfect. I mean, I've literally heard not a single complaint about the board game. It seems like it runs perfectly fine, and this is exactly what Mario Party fans have wanted for a very long time, so major win for the community. But with that said, let's move on to the minigame side of things. Just like the boards, I've heard nothing but extremely positive things coming from the minigames, and literally every single previewer said that these minigames, everyone that they played, was pretty fantastic, that there wasn't a single one that they can think of that wasn't that great. The only one that actually had a minor complaint was Nintendo Life with this crane minigame, saying that the person operating the crane in the 1v3 game was just extremely overpowered, and literally he couldn't understand how in the world anybody was supposed to possibly win this. They just don't move fast enough, and it was just way too much time on the clock, where he felt like it was just way too easy. However, all the other minigames apparently seem to have fun varieties, with motion controls or button time presses, or minigames that really make you think before you act. But apparently even the returning minigames are a big highlight of this game, so minigames seem to be really positive all around. This seems to be a really clean-cut game with fun boards and fun minigames. What else could you want? I do want to jump into one thing that I really haven't seen anywhere else, and the only gameplay clip I've seen of this so far comes from Nin10doland on YouTube, where they showcased a specific type of minigame that brings me through the roof. Yes, a boss battle. Right now, this is the only clip of any boss battle we've seen, and this against a giant sting bee from Mario 3D World. It looks like you have to platform off of the moving platforms in order to jump on his back as he's flying back and forth. He even has a health bar very similar to Mario Parties 9 and 10. So boss battles are back? This is extremely confusing, but also so satisfying because I love the boss battles from Mario Parties 9 and 10, and I really wanted them to return in the 2 Switch titles so far, so I'm so glad to see this. But in what context do they return? How in the world do we play boss battle minigames? Are they also just random? Because in 9 and 10, they worked with the cart system, where you would actually get mini stars based on the position that you finished, and they were like mini bosses and also final bosses depending on where the cart was placed on the board. So this is strange. I wonder how they're going to implement this within this design Mario Party, because there's no cart system, everyone's on their own. Is it just a simple whoever does the best wins? Is it kind of based on coins, based on position? It's hard to say, but I'm not complaining. I cannot wait to see what other boss battles make a return, even though it looks like they're once again taking the simple route that we've seen from the past 2 times they had boss battles. For instance, just giant versions of regular enemies, but this time pulling from 3D World, which is pretty cool. Now, this is where things start to get a little dicey for the game. Yeah, pun intended. There's 2 extra modes, and I believe there's going to be a 3rd one with this weird mode that we've been seeing in trailers. It looks like a 3D Mario kind of in a weird way with terrible graphics, but you know what? We haven't seen that mode yet. But we do get to see 2, including Bowser. This giant Bowser that you'll see is actually not Bowser. Apparently, it is an imposter Bowser, which also, you know, is the reason why you'll probably be able to play as regular Bowser with the giant Bowser walking around. So whatever imposter Bowser means, maybe it's, you know, conjured up by Kamek or something like that. But yes, first mode, Koopathon, has you racing against 20 players in total, where it's your job to complete your individual minigame as fast and better than everyone else. And depending on how many coins you get and how well you're doing and how fast you're completing the minigame, you'll actually get rewarded on the map on the right, which you can see your progress, and you can track how well you're doing with the other players. If you do bad or you mess up, you actually get halted a lot more depending on how far you are ahead. If you're in first place by a while, if you take damage or lose in your minigame, you will be paused and stalled on the board for a while, allowing other players to catch up. So it seems like it's balanced. No one's going to completely front run unless they're just absolutely playing the minigames perfectly. But the minigames looked a lot of fun. I mean, we've seen some of these before, but the one that I really like the most seems to be a room full of enemies. It seems like you have to choose the door with the picture of the enemy that there's the most of in the room, but you can also stop and grab coins as you're going through there as well. There's also another mini game where you have to run up a sand hill and dodge spiked logs thrown at you from spikes. So yeah, poor Spike here is getting beat up by his own family. Seems like red coins give you more spaces to move up, and an item box can be used to sabotage the other players, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately though, a lot of people said this was kind of an afterthought mode and something that they weren't super excited about, but still, I actually thought this looked really cool. And I find myself really wanting to play this mode just as much as I want to play the regular boards as well. This looks like a lot of fun, and I really am excited to play this online with tons of other people, and actually it's something that has a nice pace to it without having the cars that people really hated from 9 and 10. That way, keeping everybody playing at the same time and moving at the same time. I actually love this. And the last mode we have to talk about is Bowser Kaboom Squad, because apparently this mode is kind of the lesser fun of everything that we've seen so far. From what I've heard so far, this seems to be a mode that people did not have a lot of fun with, especially GameSpot, which actually commented on this being a horribly controlling 3D Mario experience, where it just feels clunky to move the characters around and very boring to just go around, pick up bombs, and toss them. And this mode can be a very long mode, spanning from around 15 to 20 minutes just to take out Bowser alone, which I can see being a long, drug-out mode. You guys will play group mini-games in order to help each other out and win specific items that help you in battle against Bowser, and depending on how well you do, the better items you get in order to help your team out to take out Bowser, which is cool. It's still a cool concept. I don't really hate everything that I've seen so far of it, and I think it looks cool and sounds pretty neat, and everyone's running around the map doing their own thing, and I think this could be pretty fun. But still, from what I've heard, a lot of people said they'd rather just play the board game, minigame modes instead of doing this. But I don't know, we're just gonna have to wait and see. When I actually get my hands on it, I'll let you guys know what I think, and maybe even I'll play some with you guys to really get that full experience of playing online with buddies. But eventually at the end, Bowser will fall over and spit out a star, and all the players will actually grab the star and do like a multi-group punch on Bowser in order to finish him off, which is strange. But yeah, one thing I also wonder is, what is this for? Like, what's the point? When you play the regular board games to beat all the other players and be the one that wins. Now, what's the point of this? What do you get for doing this? Like, okay, I did it, now what? Do you get tons of coins or something? Now, I heard there's some type of party points, so maybe there's things to unlock like some of the past Mario parties, like trinkets and trophies and things from like a shop or a tent. I don't know, we haven't seen anything like that yet, but there has to be a reason to want to do this mode, because I feel like what's the point if it doesn't get you anything? You're not beating other players, instead you're winning together, so you have to get something. But overall, it seems like Mario Party Jamboree is an amazing package, and there still seems to be some extra stuff that we haven't even seen yet, including some extra modes, so I can't wait for when this game to come out to actually dive in and find everything. There's also some extra things I want to mention. For instance, I do believe there are some minigames that will be locked, and there are 2 characters that are locked from the beginning, and I believe it's Ninja and Pauline. I could be wrong about this, but it does seem like there will be some type of unlocking things that you'll have to do, whether it's probably playing through all the boards or something else entirely. It's hard to say, but I cannot wait to get my hands on Mario Party Jamboree. Also, real quick, one thing I did forget is there seems to be some type of minigame mode every single day that changes, and it gives you a set of 3 minigames, and they're always themed. Like, one set of minigames might be themed after puzzle type of minigames, or one might be themed after food, which is pretty cool, but I guess there's something to do every single day then if you want to do that. But with that said, Mario Party Jamboree is looking to be phenomenal. It's looking to be the Mario Party game we've been waiting for so long, and the game that we desperately needed to reboot the series in a positive direction. And finally, it looks like we got that. This isn't just a step in the right direction, but it looks like to be the ultimate Mario Party experience for us on Nintendo Switch. And from everybody that I've heard, they said without a doubt, it is the best Mario Party game on Switch, which I know is not saying a whole lot, but still, they're saying it is as close to the originals that we could possibly get, and that is such a positive thing to hear, and I cannot wait for the game. But definitely let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about these previews? Does this make you more excited for the game? Does it some reason make you less excited? Definitely let me know, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.